Hi everyone, Greeno here and welcome to another video here on my Greeno Eats channel. Now today it's another one of my budget meal specials where I'm making a meal that comes in at just under £1 a portion. Today is going to be a vegetable curry with rice and a flatbread, kind of like a naan, probably not quite as tasty as a naan. I mean, it is a budget special after all. But yeah, this is all going to come in at under £1 a portion. I'm making 4 portions of it because it's our dinner tonight. Let's go and take a look at the ingredients. First up, let's talk about this flatbread. So in here we have a little dough that I've made, 300 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of natural yogurt. There's some spices in there. It's like a Baharat spice mix, a Middle Eastern spice mix, and a little bit of baking powder and a little bit of sugar. Now overall, this dough has cost 55 pence to make. I'll put all the costings up on the screen at various points during the video. This is going to make 4 little flatbreads. Obviously we're going to cover it up now. It'll probably rise a little bit, but not a huge amount. And we're going to cook that in a dry frying pan to get those kind of nice crispy bits like you get on a naan. We've got 250 grams here of basmati rice, which is 44 pence worth. That's going to be enough to make 4 portions of rice. But of course the star of the show is going to be this vegetable curry. So let's take a look at what we've got for that. There is a tin here of green lentils and a tin of chickpeas. Now again, you probably can get these cheaper if you want to buy them dried and soak them yourself. We've got 260 grams of onions, 480 grams of pre-cooked little baby potatoes, which I'll cut into chunks and chuck in the curry just to warm through at the end. Here we have 1 chopped tomato and about 1/3 of a chopped red pepper. A little bit of tomato paste, which will get squeezed into like the curry paste kind of mix I'm going to make. Tucked in behind there, a couple of little cloves of garlic, and 20 grams of a medium curry powder. So, the way that this will work, chop the onions, cook it in a little bit of oil, then we'll add the spices, the garlic, the tomato paste, a little bit of water, and make like a sort of curry paste out of that. And then everything else gets chucked in and just topped up with water until it's the right consistency. So overall, with a little bit of oil thrown in for the curry as well, I've worked this out to £3.88 if my maths is correct, which comes in at 97 pence a portion. That's not bad, is it? Considering we've got the curry and the rice and a flatbread to go with it. Hopefully it's going to be really tasty too. Let's get it going. So let's start with the flatbread. I cut the dough into 4 pieces and I've basically just shaped this by hand. I was going to roll it with the rolling pin, but it just didn't need it. It just shaped really easily. So this is going to go into a searingly hot pan now. I'm going to try and replicate as much as possible the inside of a tandoor. Don't think we're going to be able to get it quite that hot, but we'll give it a go. Here we go then, into the pan. It's a little bit big. We're dry frying this, so no oil in the pan. It shouldn't take very long to cook on both sides. And hopefully what we're going to get is some of that bubbling up you associate with naan breads. So let's see how this goes. We'll flip it over in a minute or two. I can already see a few little bubbles starting to appear in the dough, so that's an encouraging sign. Right, it's going to flip this over now. We'll take a look underneath. Yeah, look at that. That's what we're looking for, that kind of coloration on there. Little charred bits, all cooked up nicely. We'll let the other side go now and see how it looks when it all comes out. So there we go, look at that. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to keep these warm in the oven. I've got 3 more to make and then I'll get on with making the curry. Okay, flatbreads are all cooked. All 4 of them sat in the oven now. Just keep him warm. It's a bit smoky in here. But we'll live. Time to get this curry underway. Now I'm going to cook this in the wok. I just like the way it gives a sort of fairly even heat throughout the whole thing and a big surface area, so you can kind of control how thin and thick you want the sauce a little bit easier. If it's too thick, it's very easy to add some stuff in. If it's too thin, you've got a bigger surface area evaporating away. So let's get going. Onions in first. Okay, so the wok here is warming up nicely. The other pan I used for the breads is next to it with a little bit of water in, steaming away like crazy. So we'll get a little bit of this oil in there, not too much. And then it's time to add in the onions. Quite a lot of onion. There we go. Obviously you want it to be nice and aromatic, so a lot of onion always helps with that. And you can see in here I have the rice going. I've got a rice cooker here. So it's basically for every 1 cup of rice you add 1.5 cups of water. Really rinse the rice first. Should come up hopefully fluffy. If not, even if it's a bit sticky, doesn't really matter. Okay, so these onions are coming along nicely now. So I'm going to add in the garlic. There we go, quite a lot of garlic again. Curries can take that flavour very well. Just give that a little stir, and as soon as we've kind of taken the edge off of the rawness of that garlic, we're going to go in with our curry powder, a little bit of tomato puree, and some hot water, and kind of make a curry paste out of it. So just the smell of this onion and garlic is already pretty good, but it's going to get a lot better. Okay, so that's had literally kind of 30 seconds of cooking that garlic. And we're going to go in here now with this medium curry powder. Use whichever curry powder you want, or you can, make your own spice powder up, just for ease and to make it easier for me to calculate how much it's cost. I've just gone with a shop bought medium curry powder. Nothing too fiery for the kids. That will coat over those onions now. And again, we'll literally just give this a few seconds just to take the rawness off of that curry powder. But we don't really want it to burn or stick onto the pan. And then we're going to go in with some hot water and start making a curry paste out of this. So, boiling water time. And we just play it by ear with this really. Just see how it goes. You don't want it to be too runny at this point, because you don't really want to be boiling the onions too much, but you do want to make a kind of a thick paste with this curry powder. And of course we've got to add in some tomato puree at this point as well, just for flavour. There we go, just a little squirt of that, not too much. And we'll give that a mix in. And then again we can adjust the water a little bit if we need to. Okay, so at this point we're going to go in with the chickpeas. So these are just tinned chickpeas. I've drained them, I've rinsed them a little bit, and now just go in there and cook up for a while. Let's get all those lovely spices onto them, shall we? This is starting to come together quite nicely now. We're going to go in with a little bit of red pepper. There's not very much, but it adds a little bit of colour, a little bit of flavour. And we'll also go in with our tomatoes too. These are just sliced up into little thin pieces. Again, we want to try to keep its integrity if we can. It's going to cook down, it's going to go very soft. It might just fall apart, we'll see, but if we can, we're going to try and keep the pieces of tomato together. Time to add in the green lentils now. So again, just a tin of green lentils. Emptied the tin into this little sieve thing. Gave them a nice wash. And we get them all into the pan there. This is starting to come together now. You might need a little bit more liquid in there, I think. Particularly when the potatoes go in, because they're going to absorb some of the liquid and some of the flavour. Okay, now it's time to add the potatoes. Now these, of course, are already pre-cooked. Just little baby potatoes, again with the skin on. You'll notice in as many of my recipes as I can, I will keep the skin on the potatoes, partly for flavour and partly because it's better for you. Now there's quite a lot of potato in here, so we've put 480 grams into this recipe. It might even be more than is really required. This wok is getting pretty full, but hopefully you'll agree, it looks pretty tasty. So we're just going to let this cook up now, keep moving it around a bit, let the potatoes warm through again and take on some of that colour, some of that flavour. And then as soon as the rice is done, we'll be ready to serve. Right folks, I think we're pretty much ready to serve now. You can see the flatbreads have come out. Put them on the plates already for everyone. And this vegetable curry has come together very nicely. The rice is cooked now. Let's get some into a bowl and give it a try. Right, and here we are then folks. So we have over here this kind of flatbread, naan bread kind of thing. It looks pretty tasty. Here we have a nice white fluffy basmati rice. Well, it's not quite as fluffy as it could have been, I don't suppose, but it's not bad. And this vegetable curry. Lots of nice colour to that now. The nice little bits of red pepper in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this. Let's give it a go. Let's start with the flatbread first. So as you can see here, I've torn it in half. So it's quite thin, but not thin like a chapati would be. Got a nice little chew to it. Missing a nice slathering of melted butter on the top. But this is budget. No budget for butter in this one. Those charred bits you get on the top there, that's where you get the flavour. Nice little burnt charred taste. Really good chew to it. That's nice. There's a few little spices running through that as well, which give it a little zing. Really nice. Now take a look at this. This is the curry and the rice. So you can see here we've got the nice basmati rice. Not quite in individual grains, but it will do. And the curry here with the chickpeas, the lentils, potato. So it's going to be a filling meal, even without having meat in there, any protein from that. I guess I think the lentils are pretty good for protein, aren't they, in veggie food? So let's give it a try. Get a bit of everything on there for now. So the curry itself has got quite a nice flavour, even though I've only used like a curry powder. It's cooked up quite nicely. It's got a little bit of heat to it, not a lot because it's a medium spice curry powder, but enough that you know you're eating a curry, you know. The potatoes have still got a nice bit of bite to them. I didn't overcook them. I wanted them to still kind of keep their consistency as we're cooking them in the curry sauce. And there we go, we've got all the chickpeas and the lentils and whatever on there, you can see. Nice and soft, but still with texture. The rice itself, we'll just give that a try by itself. Yeah, it's rice. Overall, I'll tell you what, for less than £1 for this bowl of food plus that flatbread, it's really good. And like I say, very healthy, vegetarian, lots of goodness in there, and plenty of energy to keep you going too. Right then folks, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this meal. I tell you what, it's delicious. I normally wouldn't think about making a vegetarian curry, maybe a sort of vegetarian side dish to a curry that's got chicken or prawns or lamb or something in. But this, it doesn't miss the meat, it really doesn't. And if you're on a budget, you can cook this up, nice and cheap, really fresh tasting, really healthy. You can't go wrong, can you? And it's gonna fill your belly. You've got the rice there, you've got the potatoes, chickpeas, lentils, the bread as well. It's a hearty, hearty filling meal, isn't it? Right folks, well I hope you enjoyed this little video about another one of my budget, less than a quid kind of meals. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me, it does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like what you've seen, why not consider clicking the subscribe button, ding your little bell for notifications, and you won't miss anything that comes up on the channel. Right, I'm off to finish the rest of this off. It's great. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.